Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and guess what? I'm pumped to be joined by my man Jason Howell from TexAgs.com. Jason, great job on the recruiting beat over all these years, man. It's been a whole lot of fun, not only reading your work, but also sharing the sidelines with you after all this time, man. I always have a blast working with you.
Man, you know, it's a labor of love. You know, we get to get out and see the next guys coming up, and we're always on the look for, you know, the up and coming, the guy ready to uncover that hidden gem and, you know, get these guys on to the next level.
When they get to the state championship, it's kind of like a celebration. They're not usually too much hidden gems anymore at that point, but they actually really, there are some guys that we should be talking about who are underclassmen, and that's really, I think, what gets guys like us excited sometimes about coming to these games, is being able to see these top players compete against the best of the best. And I got to start with PNG, Port Neches Groves. They beat South Oak Cliff in what was a tough, hard-nosed battle. It was a game that was probably, you can point at directly and say this game was won in the trenches.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to start with 74. I got to talk to him. Jackson Christian, huge offensive tackle, and he had a grip like a vice grip when he shook my hand. So he's very strong, I can tell you that, and passes the eyeball test. What did you see out of Jackson? Why should colleges be looking at him?
Well, first off, 6'5", 290, that immediately jumps out. Like you said, you see that punch when you turn on the video.
Definitely.
He just takes the breath out of people. And like you said, he's got that grip. And when he gets a hold of you, you're going down, man. You're not you're taken out of the play, or he's getting on to the next level. He does a great job of getting downfield and picking up blocks in space, and just, you know, overall at that tackle spot, when that pass rush is coming, man, especially on the high school level, he's able to get those long arms on folks and you know, make sure they steer clear.
On the other side, bookend tackles, 2026 offensive lineman Aaron Wolford. When the game was on the line, they needed a touchdown play and a two-point conversion. They ran it off the right side. Aaron Wolford helped seal that end off and got some key blocks on some of the game's biggest plays. I expect him, as a matter of fact, we rated him already as one of the top 50 guys, came out in DCTF Rising magazine. I expect him to be a guy that really develops into be a big-time player.
Absolutely. I think we're right there with you. I know my guy Ryan Browninger.
Yeah, he likes him.
He's got that golden
That's
triangle.
like his stomping grounds, right?
Yeah. He's from Nederland. He claims PNG. We getting a, you know, healthy rivalry down there.
Shout out to Ryan. Just let's take a moment to shout Ryan Browninger out, because he always does a good job down in Houston. Helps us out here at DCTF. Always does some great photography work, and we use you know, your stuff and his stuff a lot of time in the magazine. So he's out seeing top kids all over the state.
Absolutely, and that's one he's definitely zeroed in on. He was telling me before the game, you're going to want to watch this guy. Yeah. He's got the measurables. He's got all the tools, and like you saw out there, when they need a play, he's a guy they know they can run behind.
Aaron Wunschel, number 4, junior linebacker. That's another name that you should know if you're going to be tracking PNG, who's been now in 2 state championship games. So if you're keeping track of some of the top players, if they were to make it back next year with his experience and size, I think he would be a big name. But when we get to these big games, we'd be talking about prospects like literally all day if we broke down all of them. I'm going to transition a little bit to South Oak Cliff, and I have to start with a guy who I thought made some transcendent plays today, a guy who made tough, hard-nosed tackles, and a guy that plays tough in the middle of that SOC defense. 4-star linebacker Jaden Shelton. He showed me that he's a guy that deserves all the attention, all the accolades he's getting.
Absolutely. He's a guy that quickly sifts through the traffic. He makes his reads real quick. He takes on blocks when he has to. He's not one of these guys that's going to dodge. He'll get in there and put his nose
good
in
in pass coverage, too.
Absolutely. He has the range and the change of direction. This is a guy, his mom is a track coach.
Okay.
So
that's why we come to you.
Absolutely. He's been around athletics and the game a long time. His sister is, I think, 100-meter college athlete. So he may not even be the best athlete in his family. So, but... yeah, JJ, he has all the range, all the tools, size, athleticism, and smarts. At the linebacker position, you can't just be big and physical. That's a thinking man's game right there. Just like quarterback, you got to have the ability to make those quick reads, and he does just that. You saw it on, I think, a couple fourth down plays. He's great in space, and came up with several key tackles on the day.
I think that he is the brains or the IQ behind that defense next year, because they'll be losing ULM commit Brandon Jones, who has meant so much to the defensive side of the ball for South Oaks Cliffs.
What's he, a 4-year starter?
Yeah, 4-year starter, had 199 tackles this year, a bunch of tackles 199 tackles last year, a bunch of tackles this year. He's a guy who definitely was kind of like the heart and soul, and I think JJ is growing in to be that player. Kerry Williams is committed to North Texas. They call him Pooty, number 2. He had a pretty good day on the edge of the defense, playing island corner.
Absolutely, and that's what he does best. Put him in man coverage. He can get that bump, and he can also back off and be that blanket. And he showed that today over and over again. Had 2 big pass breakups. Another one that,
we'll pull like Jason Todd. We'll say not in this setting.
Yeah. So he had another one that was a really great play.
Right, I agree with you. I thought it was a clean play.
And then he had like 4 or 5 tackles out there in space. Just really all around. He came through to play today. If SOC goes home with that trophy, he may be your defensive MVP.
I got to ask you now, I like to do this sometimes. Who's a sleeper? Who's a guy out here you saw that more colleges should be tracking?
I got to go with my guy Danny Green.
Okay,
out there, running back. I think, yes, SOC. He's been that guy all year long. Just a steady presence. He's not the fastest. He's not the most explosive.
Very smooth.
But he is patient. He is powerful, and he will get you whatever you need. You need 4 yards. He got you. He'll get you 4.5. He'll take it 20. He can run away from a defense. He sees that he's got great vision and balance. I love what he brings to the table, just the overall package.
He does a good job of being able to start it in the middle, pop it to the outside. He's not always looking to just get to the outside, but if the play can go in that direction, it seems like that's the play that they've leaned on throughout their run to really score them a lot of points. And again, today, he had a long touchdown run that could have been the game winner if PNG had not stormed back there towards the end to score to win that game.
I want to say he's a guy without a P5 or even FBS
no FBS offers.
I mean, that to me, I think that's a guy that definitely deserves a look out there from some of the college coaches.
No doubt.
There's plenty of game film to look at.
For Jason Howell, I'm Greg Powers. Keep it locked on Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and of course, check out texags.com for all your Texas A&M coverage. Jason, thanks for the time, and I'm going to enjoy watching the next 2 games with you out here as we cap off a tremendous 2023 season.
Always a pleasure. Thanks so much, man.